Hi everybody, and welcome to Catapult Kids Day. Man, we are so excited to have you here with us today. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to learn a lot about teamwork. In fact, we're going to group you guys into teams in just a few minutes, and we have a great story to share with you about teamwork, and that's coming right up. But the main objective of today is we are going to build a catapult together. In fact, each team is going to build its own catapult, and we're going to have a little competition. So for the older kids, we are going to use a standard Lego kit, because what's more fun than Legos? So we're going to give you guys a standard Lego kit, and we're going to have you guys use your imagination and your innovation to build a working catapult that, whose ultimate objective is to launch a ping pong ball. So let me say that again. You're going to use Legos to build a catapult to launch a ping pong ball. Now, of course, we're going to have a little competition, and we're going to have 3 different award categories. Category 1 is for distance. I take that back. Category 1 is for accuracy. Accuracy meaning we're going to put some targets on the ground, and we're going to see who can get the ping pong ball the closest to the center of the target. Category 2 is distance. How far can you sling the ping pong ball? And of course, we have a 3rd category for creativity. How original is your catapult design? Now, to give you guys some ideas, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about catapults. And catapults have been around for centuries. And they fall into 3 main areas. And you see these over and over again. If you've ever watched any of these old movies where they're besieging a castle, for example, they use usually one of these 3 categories. The first one is called a crossbow, and it's the one you probably see the most often in films. It's this one right up here. The second one, which was actually the most popular of all the catapults and withstood the test of time over several hundred years, is called the trebuchet. And the third one, which was mainly used by the Romans, is a kind of catapult called the ballista. Now let me go over very quickly each one of these, because it's my goal here is to give you guys some design ideas for when you go build your catapult. So the crossbow catapult, the way that it used to work is you had a mobile arm that was on an axis, and usually what they did in the old days is they had this twine that they used, and they tightened the twine so that when you pull the arm of the catapult back, it created tension. And then when it was released, it would simply go like this and launch whatever projectile you put in its little cup there as far as it could go. That's a very traditional type of catapult, and you can certainly build that with the Legos that you have today. The second type is the trebuchet. Now this is a really interesting type of catapult that uses what's called counterweight. And so there's usually a longer arm that's on a much higher stand, and usually they would fill this big bucket full of very heavy stuff like rocks, and they would pull that arm all the way down as far as possible, and it would be the weight of these rocks that would pull this arm and then launch the projectile as far as possible. Right? They'd fill this up with rocks, pull the head down, release the trigger, and off it went. That's called the trebuchet. Now the third one, and this is also a type of catapult, it's called the ballista. The ballista would actually not typically launch rocks, it would launch these really huge arrows. And again, the Romans used these a lot. So think of it as kind of a huge bow and arrow with these really big, long arrows that you'd pull back on the string, and it would tighten the bow, and then you would release, and this big arrow would go flying through the air. And yes, and I'm not going to leave these up because I don't want to give you guys too many ideas, but this can be done with the Lego kits that we gave you today. These are 3 examples that were built using only the components in the Lego kits you're about to build. This is kind of the traditional crossbow, here's the trebuchet, and here's the ballista. And then for the younger kids in the room, this might be a little bit too complicated. We're going to have you guys build this really fun catapult made of wood. And that's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have all the same contest, and you guys get to paint this and color it the way that you want and decorate it. It's going to be lots of fun. So let me guys show you what that looks like here on this table. So, okay, so I'm going to give you a quick demonstration of the 3 Lego catapults that I built, just to show you that it can be done with the sets that we gave you. This one right here is kind of a crossbow catapult, and I'll pull the arm back, I'll lock it in, I'm going to put the ping pong ball on it, and I'm going to release, and the ping pong ball is going to go flying. Here you go. Pretty cool. This is a little bit more of a trebuchet. It has a much longer axle here and a longer arm. I didn't use counterweight because that didn't come with the kit. I don't have anything heavy, so I used a rubber band instead to pull my to act as the force to launch the counterweight. But it's a much longer arm, and it's going to go flying right now. There you go. And this one is kind of the ballista. Rather than launch an arrow, because the ultimate goal is to launch this ping pong ball, in this case the arm is going to strike the ping pong ball and make it go fly like that. So these are the 3. Again, for the kids that are 9 and under, we're going to build these. And this is so much fun. You get to decorate any way you want, and it simply goes like this, and off it goes. So that's it. Have a great day, have fun, and may the best catapult win.